What if there was a quiet little switch that could take small amounts of money and turn them into something big? Most people walk right past it without noticing because it looks simple, almost boring. They think it has to be luck or special access or a big lump of cash. But it isn't. You don't need any of that. What you need is to start, to stay consistent, and to give your money the one thing it craves most: time. And here's the strange thing that happens when you do. In the beginning, the growth feels slow, almost like nothing is happening. Then after a while, it speeds up, and eventually it takes on a life of its own, moving faster than you thought possible. That shape, that bend in the curve, is the secret behind compounding. It's nothing more than money earning a return, and then those returns earning their own returns. Like rolling a snowball down a hill, it gathers a little more each turn, and eventually the weight of it takes over. Your only job is to keep it rolling. The hardest part is always the start. The numbers are small, they don't feel exciting, and your brain will try to convince you that nothing is happening. That's the point where most people give up. They quit right before the curve begins to bend upward. But if you can see that bend before it arrives, you won't stop. That's why I like to call it the 8-4-3 effect. The first 8 years feel painfully slow. The next 4 start to pick up speed, and the final 3 feel almost unreal, like the money has developed a force of its own. Let's make this real. Imagine putting away $100 every month into a simple index fund. No chasing hot tips, no panic selling, no gambling, just consistency. If that fund averages around 8% over time, here's how the curve usually plays out. After 8 years, you've built a small foundation, maybe into the low teens. Not life-changing, but the base is there. Those years are about building the habit, not chasing a jackpot. Then you stay the course for another 4 years. Now those earlier dollars have been compounding for a long time. Gains start building on top of gains. Suddenly you notice your yearly growth is bigger than the money you're putting in. You didn't change your job or your deposit. You just changed your position on the curve. By the final 3 years, something almost magical happens. The account could leap into the 30,000s, with those last years adding as much as the first 8 combined. That's the 8-4-3 effect at work. Not magic, math and patience. And it doesn't just apply to young people with decades ahead of them. Even if you're 45 and only now getting started, you still have a curve. Your first 8 years can take you from zero to a meaningful base for retirement. The next 4 add surprising weight. And the last 3 can leave you with more than you expected. It's not about being early. It's about being consistent. The beauty of compounding is that it's not limited to money. It shows up in every corner of life where habits compound. 10 pages of reading a day turns into a library of knowledge before you realize it. A short daily walk can reshape your health in a year. That same 8-4-3 rhythm appears wherever consistency lives. The beginning feels slow. The middle feels encouraging. The end feels explosive. But here's where most people sabotage themselves. They get impatient. They look at the small numbers in the early years and think, this isn't working. So they chase something flashy. They yank their money out at the first scare, or they wait for the perfect time to start. And every time they do, they reset the curve. The people who win are the ones who start small, automate the process, and let time carry the load. Think about what happens when the market falls. Everyone panics, but the long-term investor sees it differently. Lower prices mean your same $100 buys more shares, and those extra shares earn more later. It's like buying the same groceries on sale. You don't stop eating just because prices drop. You actually get more for your money. That's why downturns are a gift to anyone with a long horizon. Even lump sums follow the same logic. If you suddenly came into a windfall, you don't need to gamble it. Put it to work, either in one shot or spread across a few months, and then keep your smaller habit alive. The big deposit gives the snowball weight, and the habit keeps it moving. This isn't a trick. It isn't some secret strategy. It's simple discipline. Pick an amount that's realistic, even in your worst months. Automate it so you don't have to think. Give yourself years, not weeks. Keep costs low, and don't tinker every time the news makes you nervous. Protect the plan instead of chasing distractions. Because in the end, it's not about hitting some magic number. It's about reaching that moment when you suddenly notice your growth outpacing your deposits. That moment feels almost surreal. It's the reward for patience. and it only comes to those who stay long enough to see the curve bend in their favor. Most people never get there. They quit in the boring years. They never discover the force waiting on the other side of time. But now you know it exists. It's called compounding, and the 843 effect is the rhythm that makes it real. The cost of entry is small, but the ticket is time. The sooner you begin, the sooner the curve tilts toward you. So ask yourself, are you willing to wait long enough to let the snowball roll? Because once it does, you'll look back at those quiet, boring choices and realize they were the most powerful decisions you ever made. Thanks for watching InvestingFlix, where smart money learns smarter moves. Subscribe for more insights that grow your wealth.